Fancied our lads in the league final, I went for them then and I still go over them. Now, Michael out there today, now it's slightly different. There's a nice breeze, but more than that, a nice squib of a shower early on. Pitch is very slippy. Not saying about the concert of that, but like definitely the ground is slippy. You can see the miners flying around, same with under 17s. But look at, anything can happen. The last few games, like, has been very, very tight between Galway and Tip. Like, both occasions, Tip won that, Galway could have won. The year before, Galway won, Tip could have won. But the big difference was that in the last 10 years, Tipperary have got 2 titles where Galway haven't. Now, they're still, in Galway, there still wants to make the breakthrough. And I suppose there's that question mark the whole time. But definitely this team around long enough, it's time from now like, to stand up and maybe do the business today.
It's been tight, obviously, between the two in recent years. The minor match has just finished there, and Galway have won it by a point.
Yeah, like, it's funny. Last year's team had a lot from the year before. Last year's team, Michael, from Galway had a lot from the year before. Talking to Jeffrey Linsky and John Cummins, these guys, they had kind of a new team this year, but they felt that they were kind of coming right and really buying into it. And it was a right tough match there. It was a draw at full time and into extra time. It's a good win to go into a final, but I think Cork would be the slight favourites. They look very, very impressive in Munster.
Sure, okay. Liam, I've asked him how he's feeling. You're pointing out, by the way, to Cyril earlier on. Cyril is after dropping the programme, is after dropping the notes off the desk. You reckon he's nervous?
Well, I just hope that the Galway team are in the similar state as what Cyril is up here. But no, I think we get a cracking match. I think two teams. Tip, got into the qualifiers, found momentum. Tip will probably need to play to a level above what they've played for the rest of the. But they are all Ireland champions. And, if there's one place that should bring a team alive, it is Croke Park in August. And I think that's what all Tipperary people are hoping for. But in fairness to Galway, they've gone about their business. It's not Galway's fault that they haven't been tested year to date in the championship. They've just been too good for the opposition that they've faced so far. But I expect they'll get a real test today. Yeah.
Henry Shefflin was pointing out there's 2 Galway men here in the studio. So, Henry, you've decided to be a Tip supporter today.
Oh, my God, don't be getting me in trouble back home, Michael.
There's no such thing as a Kilkenny man supporting today. You should know that way.
No, I do know that. By the way, Henry is a casualty here in the studio today. Hurt yourself in a club match last night, Henry.
Yeah, unfortunately, my old friends, the Crutches, are back beside me, Michael, today. So, just... I think my mind was telling me to go one way, but my body was telling me not to go another way, and I just pivoted on my knee, so I hurt my knee today. So the lads are looking after me very kindly here today.
In for a scan on Tuesday before you know what's the story is.
Yeah, no, it's just the knee is very swollen and everything like that. So come Tuesday, hopefully, I'll know what the situation is.
All right, well, look, we wish you well with that.
Thank you very much.
Who do you fancy today?
Yeah, well, I think it's very hard on the call. Everyone leading up to it, every pundit is kind of to and fro between it. But you have to go on form, and that's as pundits we do. We go on form, and the form at the moment is with Galway. We're not quite sure about Tipperary yet. We're all expecting them to show up today, but I think Galway, just on current form and just the level they're at, should get them over the line.
I suppose because of the legacy between Galway and Tipperary down through the years, this kind of makes it all a bit peculiar, because if you talk to anybody who says, who do you think is going to win the All-Ireland, they'll say Galway. And then ask them who's going to win the match today, they're not quite sure.
Well, like it's funny, the Tip lads in the hotel opposite, and the jury's there, Michael, they're saying, are we going to turn up? It's like, they know well, like Liam has referred to there, if the Tipperary team of last year, the form that they showed last year in the All-Ireland especially, turn up, they're going to beat anyone. But they haven't shown that form this year. They showed a bit early on, got caught by Galway in the league final, then got beaten by Cork. So they're kind of feeling that little bit, not as kind of as confident as they should be. Now they're full back.
They great against Westmeath the next day.
Then they got the run, and they were always going to win the other matches. And to be fair, they got ahead of clear. They've changed their full back line, which shows that they're Barry's gone back in full back, Mickey Cal gone corner, and Leeson gone back in goals. Now, talking to the boys here, it always happens. The line you think is going to be in trouble, they could have blinders. But it does show that they're not happy with the team. Whereas Galway, are going to be more or less the same team the whole time. They're playing, they think they're good enough. But Galway haven't really got any real test yet, because in the championship so far, all the teams have played extra backs. So our 6 backs were on 4 forwards. It meant the forwards were being crowded out, weren't able to get the goals. But today you're going to see 6 on 6 in both ends. So you should have a great game.
Well, I think, Michael, and your point is that it is true, but Cyril, I know, is trying to deflect it on Tipperary. But the big question today is when the test comes for Galway. They have the players, they have the physique, they have the talent, but it's when that test with 20 minutes to go on, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. Because I think Tip will perform. It's how Galway perform and react when the pressure comes on.
That is the question. All right, now this is, as we said earlier, a big rivalry between these two counties. It was one that was really nurtured toward...
Anybody could imagine a county like Tip down for 16 years.
I came back in the end of 84, 85 and I had kind of rebuild the team because the team of the 80s that had won were gone past it really.
Yeah.
We held on to a few, got a lot of new players in, got beaten in the 85 and 86 All-Ireland finals, and by the time we played in the 87 semi-final, the team was well established and settled.
Can he seal it here? To no lane. Ross just got to the score. That truly is not now.
For us, by beating Tip in that semi-final, it kind of, we still rated Tip and the Kilkenny's as kind of the creme de creme of hurling.
Right now, however, we're having a bit of difficulty coping with some of the Galway supporters.
When 88 came along, the big push there was to win, and we were very settled. When Ye came through, we were saying, oh, good God, here comes Tip. There would be a fear factor playing Tip. We knew one another very well at the time. All the games had been kind of free-flowing and close.
I don't think they'd pass muster now.
No, different times, that's for sure, different times.
Well,
but,
this lad used to do it, and he's not, don't worry.
but they were great battles, you know. But even if you roll on the clock, you know, if you go back to like when we beat Galway in the quarter-final in 2010, you know, we got the last 3 points, and you know that gave us, I suppose, the impetus to go on and win the All-Ireland. And the last 2 years, it's been a puck about 1 point a game. You know, it's amazing. They've met 28 times in the championship. It's 21 to Tip, it's 7 to Galway, and there's never been a draw. Maybe today could be the day where they actually go and they don't, and we don't manage to get a winner. But I mean, I know some people are saying, like, I think some people are looking at Tip, the Tip team that we've seen in the championship so far, and that's the unknown today to know, like, can Tip bring what we know, what they were capable of here last year, where, like, they beat Kilkenny in All-Ireland final, playing absolutely majestic hurling. They haven't got to the pitch of that this year, and that's what they need to find today. And if they do, I think they have a real chance. But that's the big question. Even any Tip people you talk to coming into the ground, which Tip are we going to see today? Because if we see the Tip that we've seen year to date, that's not going to be good enough.
No, that's the point that you were making, Henry, a little bit earlier on. That's the very big question, and I suppose it's one of those things, and this is classic of all these situations, isn't it? We'll all be awful wise around 5:30 this evening, kind of. You
That's
know,
it, but we have to go on form.
people will be saying, sure, how could they have done it?
Yeah, exactly. But I think Liam's point is right, because they aren't, and there's too many of them that are kind of playing well one day, not as well the other day. While Galway's trajectory has been just on another upward curve all along, you know. And I just think Cyril referenced the point. He said we'd been around a few years, 87, 88, and we came together. Very similar to this current Galway team. They're around a few years. There hasn't been that many changes over the last couple of years. That defensive unit, and defenders win matches. I know forwards will score the most, but the defensive unit have been playing together. And I think whichever defence, because they're the question marks over both defences, whichever defence plays well, but there's nothing like playing together, knowing when to turn, knowing when to go, when not to go. And Galway have that. And that's that bit of momentum they're carrying in. And Tip have the more question marks. But it's just, there's so much to look forward to. Since this draw was made, it's just been really, everyone's looking forward.
But I think building on that point, I mean, you know, we talk about Tip having question marks. I mean, this Galway team, there's serious question marks over Galway, because they've been right to the cusp of it a few times, and they haven't managed to squeeze themselves over the line. So, like, there's a reason why they're nearly 30 years away for another one. And, like, that pressure, whether we like it or not, that's building in there. So, you know, we're all saying, like, you know, I suppose they delivered in the league in the latter stages, they delivered in the Leinster Championship. Can they deliver the performance now when you hit the All-Ireland series? And that is the question mark, because I think there's question marks in Galway.
Yeah, but you're right, Liam, and the thing is, winning the league and winning the Leinster title is lovely. But if they don't push on and win this year's All-Ireland, I know that to be Tip to that, and whoever is in the Water Cork. Like, there is a window of opportunity with Kilkenny coming back to the pack. They've been around for a while, and my feeling is if they don't push through it now, it'll make it harder for this group of players. Like, now is a great opportunity. Tip were favourites all started the year. They are the All-Ireland champions, and if they click like that, it'll be hard to stop. But I feel if Galway could get 5 or 6 up here on and kind of keep the fear up, keep the doubt in them. But as Henry said, Galway still have to do it. We have to do it on the big day. That's the big question mark. Because that's why, Michael, even last week, great week in Galway at the races, but everyone was saying, oh, we're not too sure. They were still only afraid to say we're going to win.
I know. So, like,
well,
we're going to find out very soon, that's for sure. Now, actually, a little while ago here at Croke Park, we had this year's under-17 final. That brought together Cork and Dublin, with the inaugural trophy going to Cork. Here at Croke Park, we are looking forward to this afternoon's All-Ireland hurling semi-final between Galway and Tipperary. It is a 5th championship meeting between the counties in the past decade, with the balance clearly in Tip's favour, 4-1 in fact. Now, let's give you details about how today's rivals are going to line out. In the commentary box for us this afternoon, it is Ger Canning.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Well, certainly the atmosphere is building here, and I think a summer would hardly be complete in the championship without a meeting of these two teams. And Michael, based on the last couple of years, there's only the toss of a coin between them.
Yeah, look, you could argue that the form doesn't really matter coming into the game, that it's 50-50, but I don't think you can ignore the way the Tipperary defence has been playing. It would be a big ask, I think, for them to improve that much. I know they've made a few changes, put James Barry back at full back, but I just think that Galway, on all known form, should be strong enough to win it.
Well, that's Michael Duignan's view. Let's check on the two sides then, starting with Galway. And Galway's goalkeeper today is Colm Calden, who made his debut 10 years ago. His full back line shows Adrian Toohey, who suffered a hand injury in the corresponding game last year, plus the ice-cool Daithí Burke in the centre and John Hanbury. Pádraig Mannion is an efficient wing-back. Gearóid McInerney hoping to reprise his league final performance against Tip, and then the adaptable Aidan Hart on the opposite wing. The centre-field partnership of Johnny Cohen and David Burke is now a very well-established one. This time last year, number 11 Joe Canning had scored 5 points by half-time when injury struck at a stage where Galway led the match by 2 points. Today, he'll be hoping for a complete change of fortunes. And in the inside forward line, Niall Burke is picked at full forward, but could swap with Cathal Mannion, while Conor Cooney is looking for another bumper harvest following his 8-point scoring spree here against Wexford. Facing them will be a Tipperary side with experienced goalkeeper Darren Gleeson getting the nod ahead of Dara Mooney from Éire O'Ganacarty. He'll be looking for added protection today from a full back line, which has James Barry now at number 3 and a recall for Michael Cahill in the left corner. No changes at half-back, with Seamus Kennedy looking confident, Ronan Maher assured, and his older brother Pádraig set for another rugged battle against Galway. In midfield, Brendan Maher will look for greater prominence this afternoon alongside Michael Breen. And then the supply lines at half forward may well be opened up by Dan McCormack and Patrick Bonner-Maher, while Noel McGrath was clearly back to his best against Clare in Porky Quay. And unlike in the Alliance League final, Tipper relieved to have Seamus Callanan back to full health, while obvious danger is presented by the two Johns, O'Dwyer and McGrath. Tipperary manager Michael Ryan appreciates the enormity of the challenge facing his defending All-Ireland champions, because for some time now, Micheál Donoghue's Galway have been the fancy of many to replace them as Hurling's number 1. It's time we heard from both men.
Is there ever this fear of complacency, even when you're coming up against a team like Tipperary, the All-Ireland champions, and your players can't but help but hear people saying that they're going to win?
Look, obviously we've huge respect and admiration for Tip. Like, you know, they are the reigning champions, so we've given them the due respect that they deserve. But as I said, when you come into a game of this magnitude, it's just about our own performance, and that's what we've been concentrating on.
And can we expect to see perhaps some high balls or some balls being bombed into that Tip full back line today?
Look, as I said, it's just about how we can work it to our own advantage, so we'll see how it goes.
This monkey in the back of trying to string together 2 All-Irelands, has that been hanging over you?
No, we certainly don't feel it, and we certainly don't talk about it. You know, 2017 is here in its own merits, and you know, we knew exactly what was going to be happening in 2017. It was going to be a great year for hurling, and that's exactly how it transpired. And for everybody outside of Tipperary, they'd have been delighted to have seen the way that you know, the Munster Championship panned out, you know, and to throw open a championship like that is what the game, you know, revolves around, and it brings so many other teams into contention. But for us, you know, we're just happy to be here in the last 4, and a chance to go through the prize is brilliant for anybody, and we're here to compete.
Did you find the passion?
I'd like to think we did. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, the views of the managers. Let's get the view of a former manager of Tipperary, of course. A couple of changes in the Tip team, not too many, but there's a little bit of readjustment from goalkeeper out. What's today's line-out looking like to you?
Well, to be honest with you, I think they're enforced changes. I mean, anyone, you know, Mick would not have been happy with how their last line defence performed down in Cork in that quarter final. You know, they conceded 3 goals. They probably created six clear-cut goal chances. Had a goal disallowed. So, you know, Darren is back in. Darren Gleeson, you know, he's loads of experience. I think he's a really good distributor of the ball. And I think he'll give confidence out from there forward. James Barry's an all-star full-back. Ultimately, he was playing cornerback and struggled there. Michael Cahill, you know, he's been a great servant. But the question is, in the absolute top level championship, can he still do it? Because Donna Maher in the other corner was very solid. So that's probably what's going to determine this match, because if Galway get good quality ball in there, they'll be trying to target it inside line. Galway themselves have only scored 2 goals in 3 championship matches, so they don't look to be, you know, proven goal getters. It'll be interesting to see do they go for goals today, knowing that there's question marks, because I think if Galway got a goal early, to be a huge lift for them if they broke down that defence.
They will go for goals, because the last 3 games they played, the other teams, Wexford included, played defensive, at least 7 or 8 backs, and that meant that it was crowded up there. They'd be tapping over from outside. Today, I think it'll be 6 against 6. It'll actually suit the Galway forwards, and I can see them maybe even jogging in the square while going for goals, because they will feel if they get a goal or two early on, it could set them up for the whole game.
Well, that's the question that Joanne was asking there, Henry. Basically, are you guys going to bomb it in? Now, she wasn't getting any secrets, but...
Yeah, and Michael Donoghue doesn't give much away, but I read something during the week, actually, I found very interesting, was that he was asked the question, what did you learn from last year's semi-final? And it's a back-away answer normally with most of the managers, but he said, we probably should have looked at some of their individual players more. What I took from that was that there's a couple of key Tipperary players that I think they're going to highlight. Obviously, Seamus Canavan is one of them, and I think Pádraig Maher as well. They are Tipperary's 2 leaders, and I think, the managers have a job to do. The man-to-man markups here are going to be very, very important to how this match pans out. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what Galway do. But the one thing about Galway forwards is that they like to come out the field. Clare, the one thing about Shane O'Donnell and Clare is that when he gets the ball, he's going for the goal, and every defence hates that.
Yeah.
So Galway are more coming out and trying to score points. But I think whoever gets the goals today will probably again win it,
Yeah. I suppose as well as that, like Galway, as Cyril said, short a few goals.
Yeah.
But are banging over a fair number of points.
I know they are. I mean, they're scoring at will, to be honest with you. I mean, they got 29 points in the Leinster final. If they had to get a goal or two, there'd be no stopping them, So I think the thing is that Carl Mannion and Joe Canning have had interrupted build-ups to this match. It'll be interesting to see how those two get on now, because they've only come back training. They're both carrying niggles. So, I think you need to be really on the ball while Tip have been playing matches. So it'll be interesting to see how those two cater in the first 15, 20 minutes when this match is there for the taking.
All right, lads, the big match is coming up shortly here on RTE Television.
Touched on it, that primary win, and I would not be surprised to see 1 or 2 high balls going in. Galway can grab it and get a goal or two. If they get that goal or two and win that prime possession, I think they're going to do it.
All right, Henry, thanks for that. Donald O'Grady, by the way, is down pitch side for us today, and we'll get another neutral view from Donald. You heard, I think, Donald, what Henry Shefflin had to say up here. He thinks Galway might just be able to shade it. Do you share that?
I think if they play as well as they can, Michael, that they might shade it by a point or two. But the talk down here on pitch side is that Tip may make a change there, that Dan McCormack will move to midfield and Michael Breen into the half-forward line, which will give Tip a lot more scoring power. And of course, the middle third is what it's going to be all about. There's going to be big clashes there. But I think whoever supplies the full forward line, because both sides have fantastic forwards, whoever gets the better ball in there are bound to win this match.
Donald, thanks very much for that. Let's get a quick final word from the two boys. Cyril, if this doesn't work out for Galway today, where is it going to go wrong?
Well, I think if our backs really, if they can get on top of the Tip forwards, we'll be in trouble if Seamus Kennedy's if we allow the space to open up. They'll dance. If they get room to dance, Michael, they'll dance well into capable. But the last, I'd be happy with the defence so far. This is their biggest test, but I think they're good enough to get through. Liam,
Cyril is happy so far this year. Tip fans are not happy so far. Where are you today?
No, they're not happy so far, and I think they're probably, Tipperary today, I think, is hoping that their team gets back to the highs that they got to in 2016, because if they do that, they are a match for anybody, and they'll be a match for this Galway team. Galway have that 5-week layoff. Tip have come in, they have a bit of momentum coming through the qualifiers, but they are going to have to play to a level that they haven't found all year. And as I said, if they can get through that first 15, 20 minutes, ask a question of Galway, get 3 or 4 points up, and then we'll see what's in it, because I think this first half is really something we're all looking forward to, and we're going to save it the next 35 minutes, that's for sure.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks, lads. You can hear, by the way, commentary As Gaeilge on today's match.